Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for another HitFilm tutorial. Today we're going to be tackling one of the most requested effects in recent months, and that is the Justice League Flash visual effects shot. This tutorial is possible in both HitFilm Pro and Express, but some of the extra lighting features may require additional add-ons. So, let's get started. I actually began by color grading this shot, because I knew it would be a heavy grade. If I had composited all of the lightning and flashes, then color graded everything, the light would probably end up being too blown out. Let's start with a quick sharpen, which may or may not be necessary for your footage. I'll add a hue, saturation, and lightness effect. If you've seen any of the Justice League trailers, you'll notice that the color grade is very blue-teal oriented. However, I want to preserve Ollie's skin tone, so drop down the red channel and ramp it up to about 70. He looks a bit sunburned, but that's okay. Next up is the curves effect. Go into the red channel and drop that down. And do the same in the green slightly. In the RGB channel, I'll lower the contrast, because I know that the next thing I'll add is Bleach Bypass. If it's too much or the colors aren't right, go back and adjust them until they look good. Drop on another HSL effect, and boost the saturation in the cyan category. This will make the blues more prominent. Now when I shot this, I purposely included the lights on the ceiling in the frame. This will give me a reason to add in more blue color. Let's add a glow effect, and set the blend to add. Keep the radius low. In the per channel intensity dropdown, I'll raise the green amount. Duplicate this glow and raise the radius. Drop the red channel and increase the blue to give it the characteristic cyan look. Having that first greenish glow gives you more variation in the color. Here's what it looks like without it. Next is a vignette, as well as a very subtle anamorphic lens flare, which is in the atmospheric lighting pack for HitFilm Express. Ollie ended up being kind of dark and underlit, so I had to create a grade and mask out the right side. I applied a levels histogram to make him more visible. Alright, now with the grade set, we can begin turning Ollie into the Flash. What you'll notice with this footage is that there are actual flashes of light before he starts running. We achieve this by having Josh sit off-screen in his car, and flashing the brights in time with Ollie running out of the frame. Having this practical setup helps a lot with blending the effects. It also gives me a starting point for timing the lightning, rather than having to try and do it randomly. The first thing we'll do is the volumetric lighting behind Ollie. Create a new plane, and make it white with the fill color effect. Then grab the ellipse mask tool and draw a shape on Ollie. Feather it, and decrease the opacity slightly. In order for them to appear volumetric, it needs to know what shape to take. That means we need a matte for Ollie. Create a new composite shot. Drag in the video for reference and the plane from the media panel. Lower the opacity and select the freehand mask tool. If your actor moves a lot, you'll need to keyframe the path property and animate the mask to move with them. Hide the video layer and make sure the opacity is turned back up. In the main comp, drag in the matte composite onto the timeline and hide it from view. On the plane we created earlier, add the set matte effect. Under Source Layer, select the matte composite. I'll set the blend to subtract. Now add the auto volumetrics effect. This is also in the atmospheric lighting pack for Express. Drag the center control point and position it as you want. Set the layer's blend to add. Adjust the exposure under Render to your liking. You might need to adjust the original mask size if it's too blown out or not covering enough area. I made this flash last on screen for just a few frames, since more would increase the amount of rotoscoping I'd have to do. If you want more flashes later on, repeat this process. Let's add some lightning to this next flash. I'll drop in the plane from the media panel and add the lightning and electricity effect. Set the blend mode to add. In the controls panel, I'll lower the twitch scale slightly and remove the glow entirely. I'll put the start point here on Ollie's leg and the end on the ground. This won't be a big branch. Lower the width to make it smaller. Adjust the amount of branches and trunks to your liking. For each of the lightning effects, I use the Light Sword Ultra Glow because it looks better and has more options. If you're using Express or an earlier version of HitFilm, a regular glow will do. You might need to add the demult effect so that the glow renders properly. Similar to the lights, I used a greenish inner glow and a blue outer one. I'll add an angle blur to blend it all in. The bolts in my final shot lasted only a frame or two, and that's okay because they all add up to create the whole effect. Your audience won't really notice that they're popping in and out, and they'll be hidden by the exposure, which we'll add in a second. For the bigger lightning strikes, I increased the width of the start and end points, and added an extra trunk or two. Each lightning effect has to be hand-placed. There isn't really a way to automate this, but the process is the same for each. Take your time and review how it looks often. By combining several lightning strikes as well as the volumetric flashes, you can build a really cool looking scene. To blend these all in better, create a grade and add the exposure effect. We're going to blow out the camera when the lightning strikes, because it's more realistic. So for each flash, keyframe the exposure to move up and down. If your lightning is striking a surface, you'll need to do the same thing for each hit. Mask out a circle and feather it. Next up is another grade layer with the heat distortion effect. I'll be masking out areas near the lightning strikes. You can keyframe the opacity for each path to come in at a specific time. I had several placed all around the frame that I brought in as needed. The sparks and smoke were stock footage from Action Essentials 2. I placed them around the frame as the lightning bolts hit surfaces. You could also use the built-in sparks effect in HitFilm. Chromatic Aberration is the color fringing you see in motion graphics and video games, and we'll be adding it to this shot. This template is available for free on the preset marketplace, on page 4. Go to Import Composite Shot and select the file. Leave all three of these checkmarked and hit Import. Double-click the CA Add Footage Here composite and drop your main comp into it. Then open the final comp and you'll see the chromatic aberration applied. If you don't want it present throughout the entire shot, you can follow steps similar to the heat distortion grade from earlier and mask it out at different times. To make Ollie disappear, I added another exposure flash and then just cut to a clean plate. The camera was in a close enough position that the cut wasn't really noticeable. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Subscribe for weekly filmmaking and visual effects tips, and feel free to leave your comments or suggestions below. Until next time, thanks for watching.